Now that we're over 48 hours into the Modern Warfare 2 beta, we've got a good chance to feel out the game with its new mechanics and features. As you know, lots has changed in this game, from Gunsmith 2.0 to the movement to the way perks operate with your operator. Amongst the changes, there is an overwhelming amount of positives accompanied by some negatives that we certainly feel the need to bring up so they can possibly be addressed and made better. We want to discuss the state of Modern Warfare 2 with you all, so we encourage conversation in the comments section below. Just keep it constructive. We all want a Call of Duty game that's best for us all. Leave a like rating on this video if you're in need of a PC beta code for next week, and subscribe for more Modern Warfare 2 content throughout the coming year. We're going to keep you updated with the hottest and latest Modern Warfare 2 info, the craziest of gameplays, and the most insane challenges, as you guys know. Now, starting with the pluses, the first thing I think we all can agree on is that Modern Warfare 2 comes filled with content assuring that we'll almost never be left bored. From Modern Warfare 2 campaign, the multiplayer experience filled with new game modes including raids, the Spec Ops mode returning, let alone the Warzone 2.0 experience, and last but not least, the Tarkov-like game DMZ universe that we're getting that we haven't heard much on quite yet. Call of Duty certainly is showing up when it comes to options for players to choose from. Additionally, we have an intricate gunsmith system with a plethora of customization, 19 kill streaks that are stackable, which is a huge W for your aggressive players that like to streak. The maps that we've seen thus far are a massive upgrade from the cluttered messes we received in Modern Warfare 2019. These maps are clean, they have pleasant colors, are somewhat 3-lane traditional, and play well. Audio is also pretty much fantastic and immersive. Small details like the hit marker sound effects are very satisfying. Proximity chat in Warzone 2 is going to be a massive addition and will be hilarious and great for content. Gunplay definitely feels fantastic, and Modern Warfare 2 overall feels like it is an incredibly solid foundation. The game is fun to play and certainly has me hooked, as it feels like it has done a good job at bringing together traditional Call of Duty with the post Modern Warfare 2019 new era of COD. I think we're in for a ton of surprises as well right at launch that we'll be happy with, from the different kinds of grinds to the earnable cosmetics and potential for other fun features. I think Modern Warfare 2 is filled with an overwhelming amount of good, and honestly is potentially one of the best foundations I think we've ever seen for the perfect Call of Duty experience. But of course, that'll come with some time through revisions, and these can only be made if we offer ideas for constructive criticism. In this period of time between the COD Next event and the end of the beta, it's our job to provide constructive criticism on Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. These suggestions will be heard by developers, and some of which might be implemented to make as many positive revisions as they can, with the goal of having as polished of a game as possible by October 28th, the official launch. So now for the negatives, or more so things that need to be worked on to better our experience. I think for one, the traditional minimap absolutely needs to come back. The lack of red dots on the minimap when someone shoots almost entirely depletes the purpose of silencers and ghosts, which are already there for use. So why double down and also not show players that are shooting without a silencer? I just don't understand the logic behind that. Having red dots would encourage players to utilize the gunsmith and its attachments to its full potential, and compartmentalize aggressive play and more passive play by forcing players that want to be discreet to use an attachment slot and have less damage using a silencer, hindering them because they want to choose that route of play. Apparently, in an alpha testing period where a bunch of creators got to play the game early, the minimap was set to traditional and the game played incredibly well according to the creators that were there at the time in comparison to what we have now. But when the devs were asked about it, apparently they said it was a glitch and they'd be fixing it. And then obviously when they tested it later on, it was the minimap that we have now. I think Charlie Intel also brings up a great point in these tweets that with promises of better communication, which we certainly are getting, don't get me wrong, they're doing a fantastic job at that, we should at least have the traditional minimap addressed as to why this was done, rather than just continue to be ignored like it was in 2019, because we really never got an explanation on why they did this back in Modern Warfare. Especially since it appears that really nobody asked for this change, regardless of the playstyle that they have. No no category of players seems to want this. In addition to not knowing where people are shooting on the minimap that slows down gameplay already, the time to kill is also hindering people from playing faster, making them second guess every movement because if they make one wrong decision, they'll die almost instantly. The TTK in Modern Warfare 2 is extremely fast and at times feels inconsistent and probably one of the most complained about things thus far. I think a lot of people would be quite happy to see TTK buffed just a tad bit so that it doesn't feel like insta-death. I mean, I think that this is honestly a faster TTK than in Modern Warfare 2019, which I didn't even think was possible. And there are situations where I absolutely should have had time to react, but had zero chance to. That should not be the case. Movement is a tricky one because as I've played more, I'm beginning to really enjoy the movement. It's more so traditional Call of Duty movement that obviously is less clunky, but still a lot more clunkier than what we've had the previous 3 years. At first, I had strong beliefs that we needed heavy changes to the movement, but again, the more I warmed up with it, I don't mind the movement changes all that much. I still do think that some minor tweaks could be made, slightly buffing the movement to make it feel a little bit more agile, and some of the movement mechanics such as sliding and dolphin diving, as well as crouching, could be a little bit more useful, especially crouching if it was just sped up a little bit. Then again, movement is something that as time goes on, people will get better with it. I've already seen clips that are absolutely insane when it comes to movement, like this one, which reminds me a lot of YYing and the crazy movement that we saw in Modern Warfare 2019. So again, this is a tricky one. I don't know exactly what to do here, but I think a conversation about movement is to be had. Reload canceling is no longer a thing either, which surprised me considering it has been in Call of Duty pretty much since the beginning. You may have noticed awkward situations where you've tried to reload cancel, but when you go to shoot, you can't and the animation finishes. This appears to be intended rather than a glitch, but I'm really hoping that they do revert this change, as in my opinion, and many others, this is a core mechanic for Call of Duty and is just an awkward and unnecessary change. Footsteps definitely need some tweaking as well. They're inconsistent in a lot of situations, while in other instances are extremely loud. In this clip from Exclusive Ace, you can literally hear the enemy stomping around in the building while he's a good distance outside of it. And it's not like the footsteps are barely audible or subtle. They are loud and clear. Again, this hurts faster play styles, and I've noticed and seen a lot of discussion around camping being the ultimate play style due to all these changes that are in a way cornering players into a slower play style. Now, though I like the level of customization in Gunsmith 2.0, it is incredibly confusing due to its complexity. I think the UI for the Gunsmith needs to be tweaked to make it more user-friendly and simplistic, or some form of guidance for first-time users. Otherwise, a lot of casual players will find themselves completely confused and using incomplete loadouts and familiar weapons rather than exploring into the versatile selection that is available in Modern Warfare 2. This is giving them a disadvantage, not allowing for them to take full opportunity of the weapons throughout the game. And having to select a weapon so many times to get into the class just seems annoying and unnecessary. I'm also not a huge fan of the horizontal nature of the menus in Modern Warfare 2, but I think that's something I'll just have to get used to. And that leads into UI in general in Modern Warfare 2. It's confusing, and in a lot of instances, there are a lot more actions needed to do almost anything. Selecting quick play then brings you to a menu where you have to select start to start the match. I'm not sure why it's set up that way, but that's just minor and comes down to simplifying the menus. Though I like the new game mode menus, I think having the actual game modes in smaller vertical selections on the left-hand side and then a large graphic with its description on the right-hand side would be a lot easier for the user to read and navigate, and could have all the game mode options visible on one screen rather than having to scroll to the right to access the game modes that aren't visible. So all around, I think just UI needs to be simplified. Another minor thing, the camera fly over before respawn modes is very unnecessary and needs to be removed completely, in my honest opinion. It wastes time and slows down the game and is just a nuisance. Nobody really cares to see an overview of the map beforehand, especially once casual players, which I think this is catered towards, get a hand and get a feel of the map overall by the third time playing the map. They're not going to really care as to where they're spawning in or seeing the overview. Unless it's just a cinematic thing and a visual thing, then that kind of just makes even more of a reason to just remove it entirely. I don't think anybody is really peculiar on that or wants that. My only thought behind this all is maybe it was a way to help slow down spawns or something, but I don't think it makes that much of a difference and should just be removed. Visibility while shooting is a bit difficult. Oftentimes, I notice myself losing track of of my target once I begin shooting, as there's a lot of muzzle flash that covers the target from being visible. I understand the desire for realism and it looks great, but when it comes down to gameplay, I think muzzle flash in a lot of instances needs to be reduced slightly. Now, spawns, as per usual, are a bit wonky and hectic, you know, especially it being a beta and the game literally just came out, though I will say they are better than what I've seen in previous betas. Some fine-tuning and adjustments to spawns will make a big difference. They aren't awful, but I have found myself in situations where I'm spawning into an area of immediate action, and combined with the fast TTKs, I'm unable to even react before I'm dead. The perk system has changed to having 2 perks at the start of a game, and over time, you unlock your 3rd and 4th select perks. It's a mixture of specialists and the system that they had in Ghosts, but I think this was unnecessary and will be confusing to a lot of players. I don't see them reverting this though, so making it clear as to how and when those 3rd and 4th perks are unlocked is important. Is it time-based? Is it progression or score? A mixture of both maybe? We just need clarification, especially for a more casual player in the menus, so it isn't as unknown, and I think that would make a big difference. And of course, the exploits. I think thus far we've seen an impressively low amount of exploits or broken features in weekend 1 of the beta, especially in comparison to how broken Vanguard was at the launch. There was a wall breach on Mercado Las Almas. However, I believe IW was quick to act on this and it has already been patched, which was awesome to see. Another exploit in regards to movement that absolutely needs to be patched is this strange combination of inputs that allows the player to maintain sprint speed while ADSing. I'm not even sure how it is done, but it'll need fixed before launch in October. I haven't seen many people cover this or even talk about it, so this needs to be sorted before it becomes a wide or, you know, popular thing, widespread thing across the game. But overall, I'm extremely impressed with Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer experience thus far. I'm very excited to learn more about the additional weapons, see the rest of the multiplayer maps, how the progression system works, and prestiging. I cannot wait to see what kind of camos they've got in store for us all, as well as the challenge system in place. There's a lot still unknown, but so far I think the experience is overwhelmingly positive, and the reception from the greater majority is good. I think we're in for a great 2-year cycle of Modern Warfare 2, so as long as they keep consistent with updates and content launches, which I assume they will be doing, obviously, considering it's a 2-year game. I think they've got a lot planned for us. Very impressed and excited for Modern Warfare 2 overall. And now I want to know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you like? What do you not like? We'd love to hear. In conclusion, do I think Modern Warfare 2 is worth buying? Absolutely yes. Again, I think it's one of the best foundations for a Call of Duty game we have seen in a very long time. And additionally, consider that this game will be the Call of Duty game for the next 2 years. So unless you want to go back to a previous older title and you want to play Call of Duty, this is the Call of Duty that we're going to have for quite a long time. And I think that with time, this game is going to get so much attention that it's going to be fixed and perfected, and a lot of content's going to come out to make it even better. But with that being said, hopefully you have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next one.